Hello friends, welcome to Current Affairs Review. Today in this video, we will analyze why India does not have a national language. India is one of the most heterogeneous and diverse countries in the world, where there are more than 122 major languages being spoken across the country by millions of people. It is evident that as much as linguistic ties have the capacity to unite, they have also been the crux of several major conflicts that India has encountered since independence. There have been continued disagreements nationally about the relative importance of one language over the others. When comprehending the debates surrounding language in India, it is most natural to begin at the Constituent Assembly debates, because it is in those deliberations of the Constituent Assembly that it is possible to delineate the intentions of the framers of the Constitution and the makers of the Indian nation. The most effusive discussion occurring on language was on 13 September 1949. The issue at hand was the matter of the national language versus the official language of India. While there was a general consensus that English would be continued as the national language for the next 15 years for administrative ease, there was a disagreement about which language would replace it. N. Gopalaswamy Iyengar, a member of the drafting committee, introduced the main theme that drove the debates. He said, the amendment that English should continue to be the official language for the next 15 years, after which it would be replaced by Hindi in Devanagari script. He emphasized that this agreement was hard-won, and any changes might lead the entire consensus to crumble. The most vociferous defense of Hindi came from R.V. Dhulekar. He said Hindi was the country's universal language, and it must enjoy the position of primacy, and Sanskrit must only be seen as an international language. R.V. Dhulekar was backed by Sat Govindas, who stressed one language and one script should be the focus of the assembly, where Hindi should replace English as soon as possible. Lakshminarayan Sahu contended it was necessary that the assembly move forward in the interests of the whole nation and choose Hindi regardless of the inconvenience it might cause. Syama Prakash Mukherjee believed that Hindi was understood by the largest single majority in this country today. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar believed that Hindi should be accepted by all Indians as their language so that they may unite and construct a common culture. Those who believed that Hindustani should be the official language drew their ideological strength from Mahatma Gandhi, who believed that its rich cultural heritage would bring together North and South India, and Muslims and Hindus, and thus it should be the Rashtra Bhasha. In Maulana Abul Kalam Azad's opinion, the refusal of the assembly to accept Hindustani because it meant that Urdu would also have to be accommodated was because from one end to the other, narrow-mindedness reigned supreme. Sardar Hukam Singh believed that Hindustani in the Roman script would resolve the differences and difficulties that the South would face with Hindi. Qazi Syed Karimuddin emphasized that the decision to push aside Hindustani by banning the Urdu script would alienate the Muslims, deny them their rights, and prevent them from free expression subordinated by the majority. F.D. Hifzur Rahman had questioned Dhulekar on why Hindustani was not being considered the national language when so many spoke it from Bihar right up to frontier. Those who proposed English did so because of the administrative simplicity it would allow if continued. Najiruddin Ahmed believed English should be continued until a language emerges that is capable of expressing all scientific, mathematical, literary, historical, philosophical, political ideas. S.V. Krishnamurti Rao believed English should remain until a dispassionate and sober atmosphere is created where a consensus may be reached. Some famous proponents of Sanskrit are N.V. Gargil, Algu Rai Shastri, Kuldhar Chaliha, Pandit Lakshmi Kanta Maitra. They believed that Sanskrit would resolve the divisions in Congress between Iyengar's proposal and the austere Holhoga Hindi group with everything Hindi. They stressed Sanskrit is fundamentally a language of India that is understood even in the South, and because of its heritage, the rich heritage of Indian culture has been admired and respected internationally. Satish Kumar Samantha said Bengali should be the national and official language of India because of its richness, powerful history, strong vocabulary, adeptness to scientific terminology. Because of it being taught in foreign universities in USA, Paris, Munich and Moscow. As it contains within itself Arabic, Turkish, Persian, Portuguese, French, Prakrit and English. As it is the language of the national song Bande Mataram by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee. Finally, after much debate and deliberation, the Assembly decided to incorporate the Munshi Iyengar formula in Part 18, Chapter 1 of the Constitution. That would provide for Hindi in Devanagari script to the official language of the Union government, with the provision that the use of English would be continued for the next 15 years. On 17 June 1948, Rajendra Prasad, the President of the Constituent Assembly, founded the Linguistic Provinces Commission or the Dhar Commission to recommend whether it would be feasible to reorganize states on the basis of language. The Commission submitted its report on 10 December 1948, which stated the formation of provinces on principally linguistic considerations was not in the larger interests of the Indian nation, and that Madras, Bombay, Central Provinces and Berar should be reorganized on the basis of geographical borders, economic self-sufficiency and administrative expediency. Afterwards, the JVP committee was instituted to review the recommendations of the Dhar Commission. The committee submitted its report on 1 April 1949, stating that the time was not appropriate for the reorganization and formation of new provinces on linguistic basis. Later, on 22 December 1953, the States Reorganization Commission was formed to operationalize the reorganization of states on the basis of language. Subsequently, the States Reorganization Act was implemented in 1956, thereby reorganizing India into 14 states and 6 union territories. A few years later, in 1963, the Official Languages Act was passed to operationalize the Munshi Iyengar formula on the matter of continuation of the use of English as the official language. The Act was scheduled to come into effect in 1965. 15 years are the Constituent Assembly debates on the matter of the national language versus the official language of India. But as 1965 neared, the inevitability that Hindi would replace English as the official language became evident, and there were protests across the country. CN Annadurai declared 26 January 1965 as a day of mourning, and protests, strikes, hartals and self-immolations erupted across Tamil Nadu. Eventually, compromises had to be made and protesting states were reassured that any state could continue to use English or a scheduled language of their preference in interstate, and judicial communications. It was ultimately decided that English would continue to be used by the Centre for Official Communication, and the civil services examinations would continue to be carried out in English as well as in Hindi. India does not have a national language because it would be contrary to the embedded diversity of the Indian population. The official language at the level of the Union is English and Hindi, while at the level of the states, it is any of the 22 scheduled languages recognized in the 8th schedule of the Constitution. The difference between national language and official language are: 1. A national language concerns the shared history, imaginations, and culture of a nation, while an official language underlies the sovereignty of an independent territory with a legitimate legislature. 2. National language is the language of the public, while official language is utilized for official communication for state purposes. 3. The national language has its foundation in the socio-cultural features of a people, while the official language evolves out of politico-geographical considerations. Download material for this issue from our website. Please like, subscribe and hit the bell icon. Thank you.